hey, you need to pay me. You need to pay me. You scandalous for that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm Nakia Pleasant. Thanks for coming back to my channel. Today, I want to talk about invoicing. All of 2022, we're going to be sending invoices, period, okay? Happy New Year. We made it through. No vid yet. This invoicing video is going to be for the creative, so someone that's photography, graphic design, styling, whatever it may be on a lower scale, whether you're just starting or you're freelance for yourself, and you're just starting to work with like a few companies here and there. I want to help you guys out and kind of go through like my point of view from how I've done invoices in the past, whether it has been for graphic design or it has been for styling. So I hope this is helpful. I do have some templates for you guys, and if you go down to the description box below, go down there and look for the templates. I made them on Canva just because I felt that like I don't know who's gonna watch this video and I want it to be accessible to every single person. Let's just get straight to the point, girl. You came here, you know what an invoice is. All right, so I don't gotta explain that. But let's jump into invoicing for graphic design, because I feel like that's a little bit more simpler than styling. Styling has a little bit more in depth, but for graphic design, what I have done, I've only been doing freelance graphic design for like a year, so like I'm still really brand new, but I have been getting paid, and it's a lot of things have been working for me just based off like my own research and trying things out, trial and error, etc. So with graphic design and your invoice, of course you're gonna have your own branding on there, blah blah blah, that's obvious. You're gonna have your own branding, and you want to have these key features: your invoice number, your date, and who you're invoicing to. And you want to have your information as well, but we'll get to that. And for the date, you want to have the date that you send it, the date that the invoice is like open to be paid. That's the date you want to put. So if you're one of those people that send an invoice ahead of time, like I know I usually do, so that's usually the start of the payments. For me personally, with graphic design, I charge by the hour and require deposits, but I offer payment plans for my clients. But there's a different way you can do it as well. You can charge by the hour, which I've also done doing graphic design. So if I had like an ongoing contract with someone, I would do by the hour. So it literally just depends. So you have to really think about what you're offering, what the situation is, what the contract is, and then you can give somebody prices. Don't ever discuss your prices off top without like digesting what your client or what this person is coming to you asking you for. Then you can assess and be like, okay, here's what I could offer you at this rate and this da-da-da. And if it fit into your budget, good, let's work. If it doesn't, bye, okay? We ain't got time for that. So let's go ahead and discuss hourly. So you could do hourly rates for graphic design, which I know it's super popular with graphic design. Like a lot of people charge hourly, especially if you're freelance and like stuff like it's like a side hustle and stuff, and you work 9 to 5. Like for me, like doing graphic design, I do it like outside of my job and like when I have time. So I can't really charge somebody like an overall rate or like a day rate or anything like that, because I feel like one, it's not genuine to your client, because you're not actually working on it all day. Like you're not spending a full 8 hours at least working on it, but you're probably doing it part-time. So you really are kind of jipping them, but also I feel like you almost sell yourself short when you do day rates a little bit, because unless you, okay, let me explain this. You can sell yourself short, and I have sold myself short when it comes to doing day rates or like overarching pricing for things, because sometimes, girl, like you can be like, yeah, a logo, I could charge you a logo for $800. Like logo packaging or whatever you want to offer within your logo deal. But then I'm like, their logo, they want to do some real complicated things, and I'm like, oh wait, now I feel like I'm not getting my pay worth, you know what I'm saying? So you just have to trust your intuition, okay? But with hourly, I personally like it best, so that's why I included it on this template. But you can change it, and you can change it to like a whole rate, as overall rate, because I know a lot of graphic designers do that too. So like they'll charge a whole like $2,000 for like an entire like logo package or whatever, and that way it's like everything in one. It includes like the meetings they will have, like all that time spent is included. And you know, I feel like after a while, once you have like a certain amount of clients, and once you've done it over and over again, like you kind of realize like, oh, like this is what I like. I know I'm gonna take this amount of time. With hourly, on my my example here, I only put $45 an hour just because simple maths, okay? We gotta do quick maths here. Your clients coming to you, they want web design, they want a website basically, they need a logo, they want like some infographics, maybe that could even go into like Instagram story ads, stuff like that, and then posters for whatever they want a poster for. So whatever. So $45 an hour. And I tried to put realistic hours. You kind of treat it as like a job, like a 9-to-5 job, or like your retail job where you clock in and clock out. And speaking of clocking in and clock out, there are some apps out there that I personally love to use to track my time, and that I have used to track my time. One of them is called and.com or .co. I love that. They have like a time tracking system on there, and you can base it by project. And like say if you're working on multiple people at a time, you can base it on project, and you can base it on like who is who or what it's for and blah blah blah, so it'll all stay organized. And then like I know for me, I was doing like a contract position, graphic design, freelance graphic design, and I needed to turn my hours in like every 2 weeks or every week. So I could collect the hours and easily just take that sheet and then add it to my invoice. The second one is, I just started using it. It's called ClickUp. ClickUp also has timekeeping, and it's also similar where you can basically time how long you take on each task. So then you would put in your task or how you structure your design process for making a logo. You will put that in, and then you put the timekeeping clock on every time you start working on it. So that way it's fair to both you and your client, and it's more genuine. Let's go to the bottom of the invoice. So here I designed it so that like your information is all together at the end with the banking info. So this is where I was saying that you really need to talk to your people, how you want to get paid, and so on and so on. For instance, let's talk about if you were hired to do graphic design from a company, like a legit company, and they need a W-9 from you and all this stuff. Most of the time you're gonna have to include a little bit more information than just like your basic info. So like sometimes I've had to include like my social security number because I already sent my W-9. They got it. Like it's not nothing scary. They got it. If you aren't, you're working with somebody like smaller and they're just starting their business and stuff, you can discuss with them like how you want to get paid. Shout out to Per My Last Email podcast. You guys should check them out. I was listening to one of their episodes and they were talking about how they use QuickBooks for like their invoicing and stuff. So like QuickBooks is a way for people to pay you, and it also keeps track of all your expenses with your bank and money coming in, money going out. And so when you are freelancing, when it's time to do taxes, QuickBooks is connected to TurboTax, so when it's time to do it, it all is like connected and kind of like makes your life easier. So I've used QuickBooks before as well, and it is easier and it's a nice way for your clients, especially the smaller ones, to pay. So they can do like Visa, they can do your bank account, however they want to do, and it's easier. And you don't have to like share your bank account information as well. So and that was like my biggest thing with working with smaller people. So I think having that electronic system is way better. Last thing about this graphic design invoice is the term. So term, 30 days. Basically, there's different types of net terms. I remember I first got, I was getting booked to do a gig, and the contract said net 60. I was like, I didn't know what that meant. I just was like, I'm happy to work. But come to find out, net 60 meant they were gonna pay me 60 days after I turned in my invoice. They should not be taking 60 days to pay you. And this company was a big one. You can set your own net terms, which is great. So like in your contract and on your invoice, set your terms. You want to get paid in 7 days? That's like, do you? Net terms, this is an agreement that, hey, I'm the client, I'm gonna pay you within this amount of days after the date from your invoice. That's why I say the date that you put on there is so important. Net 30 is typically the one that is most common. It's 30 days, they have a month to pay you. Most common. 30 days is a little too long as well. Like 15 is real good. It's real good. That's like 2 weeks. That's like getting paid every 2 weeks from a job, right? So that's why I personally love 15 days, but I put 30 days because that's the basis. It's like everybody know net 30, all right, so let's move on to styling. Like I said, this is from my experience and how I did it. It might be different for how other people do it, but this is what works for me. This is how I learned from other assistants and stylists that are actually working in the industry. So with my example, you can have your logo, or however you want to do it. You have your invoice number, like I said. This one's a little different because you're gonna have your name and your title in this. So when it comes to production this large, these producers or whoever you're booking with or your stylist and stuff, there's a lot of people sending invoices. So you kind of want to put your position in this project, whether you are a styling assistant, the lead stylist. We're gonna just stay on the left side column for now. I wanted to show this example because sometimes, say you are getting booked through a producer. The producer's name is Danny. You've been working with Danny. Danny hired you. She's like, yeah, like come on as a stylist. You've been working with Danny this whole time. But when it's time to get paid, because Danny's working for Dolls Kill, or Danny's working for Target, and with Target, and you want to see your invoice, you have to send it to their billing department, and the billing department person is Suki. I don't know where that name came from, but that's who you had to bill to, because that's how you're gonna get paid. If the company doesn't even give you that person, just go ahead and ask. Be like, hey, like, is this invoice gonna be billed to you, or like a different department, or what? Like, how am I gonna get paid for this? Like I said, you have to communicate, open your mouth and ask how you're gonna get paid before you even do it, girl. Honestly, get it out the way. Get the hard conversation out the way. I used to think myself like, oh, like it's gonna come off like money hungry. It's gonna be like she's only here for the money, like type of thing. But girl, no, you're here to work, but you wanna make sure you get paid. Like, I'm just trying to make sure. But let's get into this right side and the services. So with styling, I've never seen anybody charge by the hour for styling. I'll be honest, even stylists that I've worked for and stuff in New York, like I've never seen them charge by the hour. Like, in this example, I charged $500 a day to my client. You have lead stylist, and then you have the job that it's for. So you could do like, oh, Target campaign shoot, or Vogue editorial shoot, something like that. Like, you want to title what this was for, because most of the time the producer is working on multiple things. Also, it's for your own self because as a stylist, you're also working on multiple things. You probably have this Target shoot, then you have like a Sweet Green shoot, and then you have a campaign here, a commercial there, editorial there. So you kind of want to title it so that when you do look back at the invoice, like it's not like you just looking at like the name of the producer and trying to remember like where did they produce from? Like you're like, oh yeah, it was from this shoot. All right, cool. So now you have pre-production meetings. So this is just like your meetings, like initial meetings, like talking about budget, talking about the ideas, going over like the boards and whatever else that needs to happen. You kind of go through that. You probably have like 2 days or 3 days of that. Now we're going into pool days. Pool, your stylist pool just means I'm going to go get the clothes. I'm going to showrooms. I'm going to designers. I'm going to stores. I'm shopping. And you have shoot days. So like say the shoot lasts like 4 or 3 days throughout the week. You have that going on, and obviously that's going to be all day, 8 hours plus a day. So you know, you have to make your rate, your day rate, you have to make it worth it, because you're like I want to be here all day. It's a lot of work. Like you're gonna be on your feet a lot. So yeah. And then you have your return days, because you got to return the clothes. You got to give them back to the showrooms and stuff. So there's a lot more into this. If you scroll down, I have one last tab that is reimbursements tabs. Say you spent money on Ubers or taxis or trains, or you had to spend your money for shipping stuff to like a studio, or whatever the case may be, where you like came out of pocket that was for this shoot. You want to get reimbursed for that. So in another video after this, I will go over receipts and doing receipts for styling purposes and like getting reimbursed, and like you have to show the client how much you spent on the clothes and stuff, and what was returned, what wasn't returned, what needs to be reimbursed, and etc. Let's go down some more. So again, I have your payment details, you have your account number, banking number. Like I said, you need to discuss how you're gonna get paid in the beginning, okay? Discuss how they usually pay people, just so you know, just so you send the invoice over. That is that. You have your contact information, and we have another term agreement. So this one is terms 15 days, and this one has some extra oomph on it, okay? It says 10% interest charged every week this payment is late. This is what you need to be doing. You can definitely do, you don't have to write these out on your invoice because it should be within contract, but you can write it on there as well. This is a big one, 15 days and 10% interest from the total will be charged. And I think that's a good way to like make sure you get your money and make sure you don't get hassled or nothing. Like, hey, you need to pay me. You need to pay me. Also, when you set these terms, make sure you send reminders. Don't just set the terms and stuff and then not remind them, and then you're just letting it add up. Like, you scandalous for that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Like make sure you be like, hey, like your payment, it's like September 19th, like your payment is due in 2 days, and I still haven't got it, blah blah. And it's like, hey, it's the due date. If I don't receive payment by the end of the day, I will be sending out a second invoice with 10% interest from the total. You send that new invoice the next morning, period. Okay, so that's how you do that. And this invoice, you can do this exactly the same if you are a styling assistant. You just put styling assistant, you put the job that is for, and sometimes for styling assistants, we don't work on every aspect of the job. So sometimes if your lead stylist is doing like 2 or 3 jobs, like maybe you did the shoot, you worked at the shoot for one job, and then you worked pulling for 2 jobs and then you did a return for another job. Like you could literally use this method and break it down for your invoice and then turn it in like that. You can do the same thing how you did pool days, production days, whatever, and then just send it like that. It's pretty much the same. The billing will not really be towards the company, it'll be towards your stylist. So instead of like producer and bill to, it'll just be invoice to your stylist. Yeah, that's it. I hope this video was super helpful for you guys. I really tried to make sure there was a lot of information in here so that you guys would leave here with no questions asked. But if you do have questions, I don't mind, girl. I hope this was helpful. Please don't forget that the templates are down in the description box. So if you do want to use them, go ahead. And if you do find yourself using these, please let me know. Be like, yeah, I'm getting paid, sis. I'll be so happy for you, okay? And if you find yourself using it, don't forget to share it with somebody else. Like, share this video and help them out. Girl, we need to help each other. We trying to get paid out here. There's a lot of money to be made, okay? All right. So I'll see y'all next time. Please stay tuned for more. If you have any questions or anything you want to know or like something I haven't talked about yet, let me know in the comment box down below. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And Happy New Year, y'all. See y'all later. Bye.
Yeah. Flocka. Yeah. Waka. Yes, sir. Flocka. Flame. Waka. Flocka. Flame. Waka. Flocka. Flame. Waka. Flocka.